caliber of game under this sort of pressure before the major. There's not, outside of the teams that are playing the big lands that are on right now, or the last gone week, this is about as good as it gets.
Yeah, and for PVISION, this is what their second best of 5 that they're playing actually in the past couple of months. And for them, they want to try and maintain a good track record. The Sinners team are certainly going to test them, but I believe PVISION are going to benefit from this regardless of whether they win or lose. Of course, they'd absolutely want that spot in ESL Pro League. Sinners are going to be hungry for it, but PVISION have that and the major coming up. They'll hope that they can book tickets in for both and lock in a spot at ESL Pro League. First map in the pool, it is the pick of PVISION. We start on Overpass, and that PVISION T side, let's see what James has cooked up.
I think a lot of us, and rightfully so, are going to favour PVISION to win this series. The only thing in the back of my mind is that Sinners did look so good last week. They looked fabulous winning the end of that semi-final yesterday. If there's any team that has the ceiling here, it could be them. That said, it needs to be their best Counter-Strike. It needs to start well. They need to win 50-50 rounds. Pistols included. And at the moment, Peppo here, I think, is about to meet
trouble.
A bit of a sad end. He is dispatched. The rotations are way off. I don't know what you do as the CT side here. This looks impossible already.
The timing was perfect for PVISION. They got up Con just as he was falling back, and then he starts juggling the bomb site, and he gets his timings wrong. So yeah, man advantage here for PVISION. A site taken, and with that smoke down so far, Sinners are going to have to wait it out. Now, they do not have a kit, so they'll have to go in on a flurry of kills. AW dropped by Shock, and Cielo hoping for the trade, but Shock flicks back to it. B-Stick down, but there's the trade right back. Kisarek putting a pressure in from behind, and while James is struggling on the bomb side, Beltranok clears out that flank, and now can play contingency, and so James feels confident to hold his angle and seal the round in. PVISION taking the pistol.
It's a decent go of it, I'll give Sinners credit, but the situation they found themselves in the first place was unenviable at best. Okay, a bit of a tech pause. I like how the maps ticker at the top is so wide. It doesn't quite fit.
You got to get a scroll bar in.
Yeah, exactly. You have to roll through it. We'll see if the later maps are required to be shifted over or not later in the series. Depending on how the teams, of course, perform.
I believe it only gets better when the maps have been played, because we add the score up there.
Oh, wow, okay. Really testing the HUD.
So yeah, it's long, but all those maps are up there. Seemed like we had a small issue with Beltranok, but he's back with us. And with that round reset, we should get back underway. A perfect call from PVISION. Almost too perfect. Might have seen something in the demos there for the Sinners. Because that timing onto Peppo, you could just see it going wrong before it happened.
I'm enjoying the Beltranok arc. I think, kind of put yourself in his shoes. You've seen so many of your peers now get the foot up to the big teams. The Teniers of the world, people like this, have got their jump. I don't think Beltranok thinks he's a lesser player than someone like Tenier. I think they're on pretty similar trajectories about a year or so ago. And it's quite intriguing to see if this young man has a bit of extra spice to him because he's got a bit of a point to prove. Why have I been overlooked where others have got their big chance?
Well, he could have a chance to make a name for himself, but it's James that seems to be absorbing all the kills early into this final. 5-0 start here for James. Of course, he's just dealing with the anti-eco, but he'll be happy to pad the stats. Another round too threatening so far from the Sinners. And I really want to see what this PVISION roster looks like when they're thrust into discomfort. I think, looking back at that BC game, it did seem as though there was a lot of map control that was kind of conceded to PVISION, given that they're a very slow default-driven team, but the Sinners will have to try and throw in a couple of rounds just to keep PVISION honest as well. In this first gun round, Stresson already testing the waters in middle, but nothing too straightforward here from the CTs, playing defensive.
I think T-side overpass will suit PVISION. It's maps like maybe Inferno, these sort of maps, they might have more problems. Maps where there's dividends to be earned from fighting for control early, and I think on Overpass, the contact nature, the fact you can do this sort of thing, just go in monster late as a pack, make moves.
Oh my god.
Lends to them. How have they not found this play in and amongst the smoke? Shock! Fabulous position. Only the one, but B-Stick continues to find frags. Rotations are now coming in thick and fast. B-Stick's doing his damnedest to stay alive. He's trying to buy time. Smoke will not last forever, and James collects. We find ourselves in a 2-on-2. Do any more CTs feel like peeking? Not just yet. They seed the plant, and now they wait. It's a game of chicken right now, isn't it? Who's going to peek first? The smoke on this CT side as they deal with James, and now it's all on AW. Do they suspect he's still behind default? Strasan seems to be holding. Give a peek, finds his man. Beautiful retake, and much needed for Sinners.
Yeah, lovely patience. But the smoke play there from Shock may just have saved this round entirely, because he got caught by the flash. He would have been a sitting duck, a free frag, and PVISION would have had that extra man to help clear out the bomb site, but PVISION gets stuck between a rock and a hard place with the smoke that's down in water. They're unsure about where the rotate is coming from. They freeze like statues, and it doesn't allow them to get into any positive positions in that afterplant. Sinners played a slow approach, and they out-patience James in the after. So, first gun round that we see out of PVISION, or out of Sinners rather, striking with success. Miss smoke on mid, which is far from ideal. Strasan still clearing for it, and because of that miss smoke, James hits the shot. It's a blinder from James, but that extra vision will certainly help.
Fabulous start for them. And actually, it's James on his own. Left towards A. Can he pull more rotations? He's got Peppo up here. And B-Stick. There's two players in B short water. And actually, if Sinners manage, PVISION, manage to commit through Monster anytime soon, this could quickly become a save for the CT side. More util being thrown by James. Should hold these players as long as possible. B-bomb site now completely seeded. Molly in for short. This doesn't look good at all for the CT side. Is a kill for Kisarek, but can he stay alive? No, he cannot. He actually dies to his own nade in and amongst all the carnage. Going to continue looking for these fights, but I think they need to pull the ripcord at some point. Shock could earn himself a free duel. Nobody's looking. There's no util down here. James is completely transfixed on holding the big flank at the moment. This is their only way into this site. Yeah. Somebody overfacing Shock, but he's lost with his teammates, and yeah, too much to ask. Get out.
Yeah, it seemed like the plan was that Shock would throw a flash just to allow B-Stick out, but B-Stick peeked before that flash even got thrown. So even though it was an awkward post-plant, PVISION, with 4 players alive, were playing 3-on-3 on the side itself. The Sinners do not find a way back in, just the wrong read, wrong call with that early pick that James finds on that A-bomb site. The Sinners looks to overload and hopefully catch a player in con, which honestly is a respectable idea. You know, you think about how PVISION typically play these rounds very push-pull, a lot of drawn-out utility on the default. With Connector conceded, I'd love Sinners to explore that option again in a future round, even if it put them out of position to contest that last one.
They had to take a risk, and we can't fall. It's also that PVISION lost the last time they went Monster before that, so I think it made perfect sense. But that is Counter-Strike. You're not going to get all your predictions right. Not all going to come true, James. Still on this orb. Can just use that to help him default. Got a double long setup. It's just the one rifle. Strasan is trying to take contact first. Where's the other rifle? I guess it's boosted on the sandbags. Be short.
Oh, and he got it as well.
Wow,
yeah,
okay.
Belchinok caught outside of Monster because of that boost onto short. So that's a man advantage, not a recoverable weapon, but still a problem posed.
This is a bold move from this T side, isn't it? I think they're gambling the Shock would have given up on B, maybe moved with the gun. Oh, look at this. Pretty much a full-on contact play. The timing is brutal on Kisarek. Another for Shock. He's certainly done his job. But I think with the lesser weaponry, this is still going to be a pretty tall order. And especially with James finding that kill, they seem to have stabilized. That is a brave call from PVISION, man down, to just go in monster like that.
Yeah, you know they have a rifle there, but they don't care. One boosted rifle, not enough to scare James away. And if we think about the amount of experience moving into ESL Pro League, of course, this would be an induction into the 23rd season of it. James has attended 9 with different rosters over time. His first ESL Pro League was actually online during COVID, and then was able to chain a lot of successes off of that. And for Shock and Beestick, last one they attended was quite some time ago. If I'm not mistaken, it was ESL Pro League Season 14. And that was also with a completely different roster. So James has the most ESL Pro League experience of anyone in the server, collectively combined. And he's one of the 3 major winning MVP in-game leaders. So a lot of reasons to believe in what James brings to the table.
Very slim field.
Yeah, you had Happy, you had Tarek, which is a weird pull, and then of course you have James. But this time it's all con pressure here for PVISION. 1-for-1 on the exchange. Notes are left very low. And PVISION starting to group themselves up.
You know something
again.
I don't know about this monster being a vulnerable position. This is becoming a trend.
Common target.
Shock that's playing here. Shock is... You don't get past Shock easily at the moment. That is for certain. Re-smoke comes in. That is all the nades gone. Kisarek is here as well, so... It's hardly an undefended position. They've decided to leave Strasan, and he's pretty happy that A is not a risk at the moment. This is quite a confident 3B lean. Gonna need fabulous flashes, I think, to get past Shock and Kisarek here, especially with the anti-flash positioning. Nota was holding, but can't find his man, and Shock finds another.
Oh dear.
Good kills though. That probably should have been the round. We find ourselves though in a 2-on-2. Kisarek dispatched. Peppo needs to find his man, and that was a fabulous shot on the cross. Waits for his teammate now coming in from B short. James seemingly will get the bomb down, but is he aware that short is a risk factor at the moment? He only knows about Peppo. Strasan shows James. Does he want this fight? He does, and he wins it. Light on his feet. Who's back to the pillar? Peppo. Huge one-on-one to define the start of this series. James can put this to bed. Silence the economy. At the same time, continues to duck and dive around this pillar, and Peppo is not up to the task of playing a man of this experience. 5 rounds now for PVISION.
Yeah, I mean, that's a beautiful clutch from James. He read the position. He constantly tried to change his spot and make it hard for them to guess where he could have gone off to. Peppo's never going to be holding just a slim line for his escape down monster. Anytime James got spotted, he immediately repositioned. And once he dealt with that rifler, it puts Peppo in a terrible spot. Some great kill. I mean, honestly, a great kill from Peppo to bring it into that 2-on-1. But James is a scary man to face in a clutch. It's what made the VP run and the slow style, the constant saving, heartbreaking for many when they watched him. Because we just know how good he can be. Peppo this time missed shot into toilets, but Beestick does cover, gets his kill.
Okay.
Strasan activates in from connector, and so it's 2 kills that go cleanly in from the Sinners, but Beestick eventually traded out by James Orp. And so again, these weapons are felled, but not recoverable here for the Sinners. They'll just be happy that they have this man advantage and the AWP.
Not yet, but you can certainly see Worlds, can't you? And this gets into an afterplant. Strazan's already pushing through the T side of Connector right now. So on a bit of a clock here, I think, our PVISION. They've got to scale up A before this. It's too hard to deal with. Peppo here on the AWP decides I'm not re-peeking towards Jame. And he's actually got a lot of work to do. He's not aware that toilets, the bathroom side, isn't actually a risk. He's posted up there for the moment. Here go the riflers. Molly is fantastic. And how does Peppo get a kill in that situation? That is ridiculous. Do they expect Kisarek to be so far advanced? Time is starting to run out as well, and now Belchonok is in a lot of trouble. Players facing from 3 directions. And look at that. That is the sort of round that gets you back in a map.
And that might be the reason that PVISION have been favoring the B bomb site. This time they go for it. Side default, and they fall into this 3-man trap on that A site. Beastick gets his kill, the con activation. Peppo, a lovely kill on that AWP, but it's really these pistols that do most of the heavy lifting. Even had that flank set up on long just as PVISION broke into the bomb site. So a second round and a lifeline here for the Sinners. They would really like to keep the T side of PVISION at bay. 5 is enough.
It's not done brilliant things to the PVISION money losing that round. Big check here from Connector. And another free A start from the CT side. So this is some pretty bold calling given how much Monster has been a factor in this game so far. It is the right decision. Prasan also he's an A player, so at the moment PVISION, they wouldn't know what sort of setup they're up against. Yet again, we're grouping Monster in this early to mid round. It's becoming absolutely a trend.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably recognizing that Sinners on these gun rounds have favored that 3A. Flash, not going to quite make it far enough, and so Shock gets his first kill, but the blindness goes both ways. AW finally able to wrangle the trade, but they can't scale with this. Forced to reload. Kisarek still playing round the smoke, and Jane gets blindsided. AW doesn't commit to the plant, and it's the spam from Nota that finds the trade right back. Beastick on the flank does reveal himself and get his kill, but AW has an escape path because of all these smokes on the bomb site. Peppo could still be in for a bad time if Beastick doesn't tighten that noose quickly. And you can see Peppo starting to lean himself away, understands the vulnerability that he could be, switches to that USP, and that's the perfect weapon for the job. Low HP on AW, and this time there will be no fancy 1v2s. Sinners get a round in succession.
Teammates to boot. Everybody playing their part in that one. Starting to look good for Sinners. Done so much economic damage that pistols are going to follow. Kisarek, probably the key kill. It's the one he found.
Yeah, I just want to comment on the fact that, you know, you're right. I was expecting this to be far more default heavy, but with how much PVISION have been targeting that B bomb site, these 3A starts from the Sinners, I think that's what PVISION were hoping would change with how much they hit that B bomb site, that it would force them to play a third B and then they could start playing the A default. But Sinners are unrelenting. They're maintaining these 3A starts.
Just the half by this time, so I don't have all the bells and whistles. Shresan's exposed. He's playing the really wide off angle here, out of long. Well, I guess the AK is up to the task. 2 for him. Only a sliver of damage taken. There is a player coming behind him, long toilets. That is Ziello. See if he can collect Shresan. He's quite an off angle. But no, the Macedonian is too hard to fell at the moment. This looks pretty fabulous for Sinners. Surely their money is blossoming, and it is. This is what we wanted to see in this series. It is not all going to go PVISION's way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Strazan doing a great job of utilizing an economic advantage. But this is the other side of that coin. Keep giving fights to those pistols. One will eventually punish you. Not that it's too consequential. One player failed. But the Sinners will be happy that they pushed that one over the line. Now, when people use the term eco-cobra, it's kind of like Stressar did there. Playing a very out of the blue deep angle versus those pistols has its risks, but when you get into a fight, the lack of armor is going to suck the life right out of you. But Sinners getting 3 straight is a massive positive. Beastic even offloading some of his util to that B bomb site. Not seen it drop over in that manner before.
They're going to keep doing this until they get punished. As much as PVISION's liked going B, it's normally, I don't know, 1 minute 10 earliest, perhaps. So, Sinners aren't too scared of starting for EA. They're not necessarily going to sit in it for all of the round. This time is more of a risk, I think, than others. They haven't seen really anything.
Yeah.
It could, in theory, be a monster move soon. The bomb's heading that way as well for this T side. I'm a little bit baffled because, yes, I can see the X-ray. I can see this could be an excellent call, but I don't know what information PVISION are working with because they never did anything really towards A or connector. It's got to be prep, hasn't it? I mean, what,
absolutely.
What else is going into their heads at the moment? There's just no other stream of information.
Yeah, this B bomb site is once again guarded by 2, but that third man does make its way over. Peppo hoping to join the squad and alleviate some pressure. This time it is 3B in defense of this bomb site. 30 seconds on the hit. Shot caught by the flash, but Peppo hits his first on their exit out from Monster. Kisserek combines with Shock to defend, and the switch to the tech is right on call there from Shock. Wow. Kisserek covers his fallback, and while the PVISION side have found weakness at B before, this time there's 3 in defense.
They need to pause because this isn't working. They had a window, sure. They did have a window, but they were 30 seconds too late. Too slow on the move. And for me, it's too much of a gamble. You're not getting information. You're not. They risk going to 4B there. To be honest, the CTs might have even left someone aggressive on A. They wouldn't have known about it. Yes, I've seen a lot of contact plays from PVISION in the last few days, but it doesn't mean they've neglected the entire map like they have this time. They've barely done much A.
The heavy reliance on these B calls, I'm with you. This has to be something that they found in the scouting report, looking at demos and seeing the tendencies of the Sinners. I think they were probably expecting Sinners to make a couple adaptations in the way that they're playing it, but that hasn't really happened, actually. I mean, it's a battle of who is more stubborn. Jame more beastic.
I think they're both stubborn. Well, Sinners are winning the rounds, so they get bragging rights at the moment. Well, Tun is a half buy. It's yet again going to be a B round. I guess it makes more sense in this sort of investment, though. The timing could not really be worse from a PVISION perspective. The aggression is perfect. It completely blunts the offense. They're down on util. They're down on chances. Strasan's on the flank. It's salt in the wounds. And Sinners right now look, outside of that kill, pretty formidable.
Well, that's a gap. I mean, just getting that kill on the player out from connector, the threats that it could be that A bomb site pulls an extra man away, but I mean, 15 seconds. PVISION need to die. They actually would benefit from the extra loss bonus that they can accrue, but Nota gets into a position where he can threaten the plant, and Jame has to swing out wide. That time was against them, and so they do die. They don't get the plant in, but the Sinners get their hands on a lead.
In one heck of a turnaround after winning that half by. PVISION have not been their earlier selves in this map. Just look at the kill counts. Jame had a lot of huge multi-kill rounds to start off this half, but you really expect the high-caliber riflers to be the big movers Here on the T side of a map like Overpass. This can't be real life, man. We're going 5B again. We're outside a monster. This is... I can't believe it. We're going into this move again. CT side, they're free in defense. They've got tons of util. Thankfully, Shock has been dealt with already, so this is their best opportunity I'd have fought for a while. Still, though, we need to get past Kisarek. He stays alive. B-Stick continues to be a monster, as he has been for the last 10 days or so. And we're left in a situation where Note is already pretty much dead. Yes, the bomb is down, but we are surrounded. Look at Kisarek already planning his move into Monster. Teammate is in and around heaven. Can make his move soon. These two young guns are going to combine in. Smoke starts to fade. AW in a world of trouble. And now it's just Nota. He tucks into the cubby. But surely he is spotted before long. He is indeed. Sinners continue their reign of terror. B was insurmountable for that last spree of rounds. Huge heart from them. Not much work to do. And they'll be winning Overpass. Potentially time to panic a little bit. I think if you're a PVISION, yes, they got 5 rounds. Yes, it's competitive, but some questions I think to be asked about the calling at the end of that T side. Jay might have the most frags, but potentially under a bit of scrutiny.
Yeah.
The way that first half ended, he's got a point to prove here on the defense.
Oh my god. Nade actually forcing Jame away and recognizing what's coming his way, but hits his kill. The dualies of Nota, though, end up empty-handed, and Jame gets a drive-by in, but B-Stick responds in kind with Shock. But AW's fast. Out from Connector. He was the unspotted member, and so he can flank them as they approach this A bomb site, they slowed their roll, and that's going to allow more time for AW to activate on this. Belchanok already reading this and ahead, playing from toilets. They're lined up here for AW, and the first kill's easy enough. Beestick under pressure, and it will eventually get felled by that same flank. It is 4 between Jame and AW. That fast call from the Sinners does not net them a pistol.
So PVISION started, well, kind of 1A free connector, but obviously they're so close together that everyone can play a part. That was an opportune moment to have so many bodies in pretty much the right position. Still, James' first couple kills are massive, and that does a lot to calm the nerves, doesn't it? Because, you know, it wasn't great the end of that T-side, let's be honest, but at least they got enough rounds on the board early that they can feel quite calm in this position.
Yeah, things could have gone really bad for PVISION. Win both pistols, but Sinners were still able to win out that half. Only the one deagle, the one real threat, is in Beestick's hands, of all people. He has been fairly reliable. Cielo, well, dead to Beestick, of course. There's that Deeg. Not going to be as easy the second time over. Jame with the MP9, trying to farm up cash for that AWP. And he'll get 3 in the end. AW will cover him. And so James stays alive and gets all the bank he needs to finance the AWP.
Assume he'll buy it. It's also a B player can play an MP9. It's not a huge issue. So, see what they decide to do with regards to the weaponry. Okay, he does buy it. And Belchanok picks up the MP9. So, Jame playing towards A as per normal. Run boost for him to start the round. I don't think it's going to really make any difference. So he starts. And a 4B lean from the CT side. It's one of those things where, how do I describe it? Like, you're most prepared to play against your own philosophy. Does that make sense? Like, yeah, because they went B so many times, they're like, oh, it's the obvious thing to do. Why would you not?
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you. The teams that fight mid on Mirage, for example, on T sides the hardest, are also the ones that try and throw as much counter utility as possible on CT to try and prevent that. Playing against your own meta. But they do pull away from that setup. See AW drifting over towards that A bomb site, while Sinners are posturing for B. So this would be the weakened target. AW actually reconsiders and starts to go back and back up the B boys. And Yellow's the man join them. Watch.
He's just pushed up long and is now clearing long toilets. There's a 4B stack for this CT side. They got any more util to put down? I don't think so.
Sinners are still waiting on this boost. It's 20 seconds.
Yeah, they need to go, man. They need to get on with this, and there's so many defenders. The flashbang is brutal. 2 kills found, third tagged up. These players coming in short are about to go into the worst crossfire imaginable. That is the power of information, boys and girls. That's how it works.
Yeah, I mean, a lack of presence on that A play. There's no precursor utility. That's one of the things that makes Overpass such a fun map from a macro point of view. You know, the T side have to use so much utility often to clear out the bathrooms, get out connector, clear out towards long, that because CTs have so many aggressive options, you have early indicators, and by a lack of that, Cielo takes that push, and PVISION are in the perfect spot, and they see that timer at 20 seconds, and they know that they can pull out that flash and absolutely devastate the Sinners. First gun round goes awry, but it's a long play this time over, and Jame doesn't exactly have eyes on that position. Cielo goes back to consider it. Jame just pulling away from those bathrooms.
this is where we're going to see the difference. I think in that first half, Sinners, and particularly I'm thinking Stressarin, they were really prepared to sit in toilets, and especially long toilets, for a lot of these rounds, whereas I think PVISION is going to favour a bit more restraints. James is very happy to warp from the site. He's done this for years, these sort of positions, loves the deep lines, and certainly against this sort of buy, you can't fault them for these sort of moves. It's going to be 9 before long here for PVISION, 5 players alive, and yeah, it feels like a thing of the past, their T-side woes now.
Yeah, I have to say, you know, if we're looking at PVISION and this game and what it means for the major, I think in terms of skills to demonstrate, it actually might be restraint. You know, a lot of the riflers on this roster are very bursty, willing to be aggressive. You know, their T-sides are often so pack-driven and brawl-heavy. You know, Cielo gets dinked, for example, on that A-hold. He doesn't go out for a secondary fight. He doesn't try and play too hard because he knew rotates were coming. James had the cover-up on the bomb site. That'll be the biggest room for growth, I imagine. And so far, it's looking good. James, bad timing. Just was about to leave the angle just as the peek from Stressarin came through.
From what I saw in the BC game, they are very disciplined, this team. I think it's also utterly obvious that they all completely buy into James' philosophy. Which again, as we saw in that first half, it can lead you astray sometimes when you're so committed to one avenue of calling. But, you know, obviously, if you look at the grander scheme, some of these players are now competing at a level heading into a major where they wouldn't have imagined that 6 months ago, a year ago. So you can understand it.
Well, that's not ideal. Cielo's inside the bathrooms. He heard Shock dismount from the bench. And so they know that they're close. Shock hopefully blowing away those flames. Not going to get caught by the incendiary, but there's an understanding here from PVISION. Rotates coming, Cielo peeking wide, and James cannot provide any support on that orb. But he does get that back up in time, and James hits his first shot on their approach to the site itself. And as they try and molly him out of position, full blind is AW from Truck, but they just cannot pound down this kill. AW still dancing at Truck, James covering his back. And so now Peppo and Kisarek need to pull off the goods, but it is just simply too tall an order. It is a successful site hold where PVISION kept hitting that B-bomb site, Sinners gravitating towards James and A.
Talk about his calling all you like. There is no denying that James individually in this map has been undeniable. Pretty much single-handedly locks down that site until the rotations came in. And now Sinners are in real trouble. They would have loved some more bomb plants in this spree of rounds to enable more buys and more economic pressure, but they just don't have that option. It's going to be a half buy. It was a half buy that got them into that first half, but of course, it's pretty wishful thinking to believe that that is a sure route back into this game.
You just see how much of a boogeyman James is as well. They throw the kitchen sink at him, you know, a smoke behind him, a Molotov back dice, a flurry of flashes, but there's also this static play from the Sinners. They don't successfully scale up. Players are still lingering, hoping to catch that wide swing from James that never happens. And so it's the riflers that end up taking over. And anytime one of those riflers needed help, that's when James struck back in.
Back to a 4B start. I would like to think the PVISION have played enough CS to understand the money. I think James looked like he was just playing fully for sound there at the start.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and now they're just going back to default spread. So they play 4B just in case it was a fast, whatever, monster rush or early B pop sort of scenario. That doesn't transpire, but clearly, as we've seen in the last couple rounds, they're more than happy to just play this site proper rather than staying aggressive. And it looks at the mini-map, Sinners are feeling like B is a better chance.
Bolchanok would have gotten his feet spotted just as that smoke bloomed. But it was on the cross back away from the monster tunnel. still, it is still that 3B setup.
It's very jittery, Belchonic.
Yeah, well, they're just setting up for a boost as well, and by playing that barrels, that does leave them exposed. Belchonok, yeah, even if he's crouched all the way down, Beastick still catches him. Nota hoping to take that same spot, as it's the blind spot now on the clearance into the site. Nota tripling up on the hold, and it is perfect play individually. James finally getting the trade right back as Nota's put down. But Beastick has to bring in a 1v2. James had a 1v2 on this T side as well. And these in-game leaders need to show that class and caliber in the clutch, and Beastick just cannot deliver. 11th round for PVISION. That Nota 3K just blunting the hit.
Could have gone south without it. There's no doubt in my mind. Flash wasn't bad as those T-sides start to scale in. It's just this play from barrels is just a game changer. 11 then for PVISION. It's not a huge deal that they lost a lot of bodies because they've kept so many players alive in previous rounds. And we're reaching crunch time here for Sinners. Yet to win a terrorist round. What have you got in the bag, Beastick? Time to bring out your best calls. Going to lean 4 towards A to open up this round. And that puts you right into James' domain. That is not something to be taken lightly.
Yeah, and his domain is expanded. Has been typically playing over towards the bathroom side. First round, he's over at long, but they don't go for anything of pace here on the Sinners. So once again, PVISION turtling up inside of the site. So one thing that they've been doing at the Sinners, or kind of also stubbornly not, is playing more for the sites instead of bathrooms, connector.
Yeah. They're just so willing to give space. It's if teams at the major are not doing their prep, they're going to get caught off guard big time by this. It's quite an unusual orthodox. I think the timing there was good for Ziello not to get spotted. Yeah. And how are they getting this read, man? 4A? Unbelievable. I don't know. What? How do they know this?
They're starting to drift another player back, but smoke over at long. They're still in very fast responding positions. James taking contact over at long by blowing the long smoke. But this could just bait them into the trap. Cielo is in the perfect spot. A leg from James through that smoke. And as they wait, this time just continues to dwindle away. Cielo finally revealing himself, but now AW tucked in the corner. Flash is perfect, and then this flurry of entries just collapses this A-bomb site. James was one of the primary holders of the site itself, but in classic James fashion, last man standing and hoping to hold on to this orb.
Well, there's a few layers to that. First of all, the call from PVISION is unbelievable. It's beyond me. Only thing I can think is that they're kind of piecing together the way the previous rounds had gone, and they were thinking, well, it's got to be A this time, but wow. Or maybe they got a cue off how the default was going for Sinners. But then, so they had 4 on A. It was pretty much 5 on A by the time the hit really came in. And Sinners still win it with 3 alive. That is... Yeah. That's almost inconceivable that the entries could be that good, but they were.
Yeah, Cielo playing early. The flashes that Sinners had lined up, even with the time dwindling so low, because AW was in actually a great spot. They got an incendiary down long. There was extra pressure for the Sinners to break through into the bomb site. If AW gets a kill there, it could have changed the whole round, really. But I think the Sinners are starting to clue in to this very defending the sites itself style that PVISION and, to be honest, James has historically done from Virtus Pro. It was always the frustration watching them on maps like Inferno, where so many teams were always fighting aggressively into banana control and sometimes mixing it up with apps pressure. VP, not at all. They'd hardly ever do it. They'd trust in their site holds. But when you play like this all the time, when the demo work sees that that is the tendency, it actually does enable you to be more aggressive, as seldom as that may be. Hoping that your opponent drops their guard.
This time it's a 4B start. Looks like James boosted in heaven on the rafters for a moment. It's Ziello, and it's probably Ziello that's the most jarring right now on the CT side. Is normally your A rifle is more content to stay in semi-aggressive spots, and it's not actually a big deal if you go 1-for-1. It's kind of acceptable because they can't get on the site super quickly. This time, it's at least staying around this bathrooms area. Flash a bit of a swing. Pepper, of course, be aware roughly what's going on. Ziello falls back, and we're back onto the sites. Yellow's looping in for long. I think he has recognized that I've got to hold on to a bit more map control than we did last time.
Yeah, I mean, during the timeout, probably discussing ways in which they can make this a bit more uncomfortable for the Sinners. But you just see how much they're bleeding the clock. 35 seconds, another smoke over at Monster, and that's where the bomb is drifted over towards. Beestick catching some of that aggression. Cielo hoping that that information could stack the right bomb site. While Beestick pressures him away, there's still not going to be too much movement in from PVISION. They just have to run through a Monster smoke, and that's into Nota and Belchanok holding for that inevitability. Bomb dropped at their disposal. Shock spotted on short. And so this round is quickly falling away from the Sinners. Shock walking back into the flames, and there is no recovery. The Sinners get totally stuffed on a late B hit.
I think stubborn might be the word for this CT side. They refuse to move, no matter what's happening. And as good as it was to force Ziello back, it's again, I was saying a minute ago, like, if you're getting kills or you're doing damage on that side of the bathrooms, it's still, what, 15 seconds or something before the site's being hit? There's time. It's time for the CTs to think. They just have to react. And certainly the B players there, they weren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
That late Monster smoke, though, was the real killer.
Yeah.
Because if they waited it out at 30 seconds, they would have had, what, 12 seconds to break the bomb site? They had to go through it. I just hope that Beestick and the remnants of the A default were able to distract their puller rotation away.
Got a question, Sinners, though. I mean, they've obviously seen the tendency, I guess, of PVISION to save smokes, and they are sitting on YouTube for a long time. But at what point do Sinners decide either we're going to get a gap early because they're not using much YouTube, or do we need to pressure a bit more and not allow this turtling up, essentially? On the CT side, we'll see. Beestick can make those adaptations. Of course, we're reaching crunch time and then some. We're on map one of this grand final. 4B, oh my lord, it's a fast Monster, and Belchanok never expected that. Perfect start for Sinners. Now they need to roll in behind this. This barrel smoke's going to make life, of course, much more difficult. And Nota, the man who bailed them out a few rounds ago, will be the first point of contact. Round is slowed heavily down now. Heaven smoke will have faded. Is James on location? I think James still top site. Yeah, he is. He's throwing a re-smoke. A Monster. This is getting very intriguing. The smoke goes mid-site. It's by default. And PVISION are rotating A. They've made the wrong read. Nota needs to do so much work. AW gets 2 from Heaven. So despite the less than ideal positioning, we do find ourselves in a man advantage. AW waiting for his teammates. But he'll swing soon. James is on location too. All 4 are here. Here we go. Here comes the retake. No util. It's straight up fights. James has a smoke. Can use that for the bomb. But they're going for the kills just now. Ziello connects. And there's only one man left. It's Peppo. 46 HP. And this is done. A stellar CT side sees PVISION reign victorious on Overpass.
How on earth have PVISION gotten away with another murderous round. They abandoned Nota on that B bomb site, and then AW from heaven with the collateral before they get that bomb planted. Sinners felt like they had a real chance that would have allowed them to stay in this map. But PVISION, you know, by hook or by crook, they win their map pick to start off this best of 5 from that 5-1 start that they had, being one of their maps that they pick a lot.
Yeah.
And that has definitely been the case in these recent months. And yeah, there have been a few cases where teams are picking it into them, but it is a map that they have relied upon so much in best of 3s before that they simply can't against PVISION. And so they're actually having to go for opening picks where they just they don't pick Inferno very often. You know, it's only if they really find a weakness in their opponent's veto. You know, typically they gravitate towards maps like Mirage, Ancient, maybe even Overpass themselves. But especially in a best of 5, you do want to get some of your technically, I wouldn't say it's statistically a weak map for Sinners, but maps you're maybe less confident at early on in the best of 5, so that you have maps that you can then lean into later to close out if it's required.
That said, you got to make it that far. So
yeah, that is definitely the difficulty, especially with PVISION playing a very, you know, actually not even just PVISION, both teams playing a very stubborn Overpass.
To put it mildly.
And neither wanted to give on their opening ideas at all, and eventually PVISION's ethos seemed to pull through.
Especially for PVISION, I almost respect, especially that T side on map 1. I almost respect that they just kept going B. They just didn't care. I mean, whatever plan they came into that game with, they decided it had to be that way or the highway. Okay.
11 of the 12 rounds that PVISION played on T side, they ended B, so.
What a ridiculous statistic. Oh my. Well, hopefully there's a bit more variety. That is the spice, of course. Coming into Inferno. Pistol round underway, and we've got ourselves a handy mid push. The yellow, though, decides, no, sir. I'm not going to allow that one to get too far ahead. 2 for 2 trade for now. And it looks like as Peppo falls, this round's going to settle back. Not quite sure who this favours. Certainly for the T side, they'd prefer to have more players with armour, I think. In fact, is Peppo the only player on the server with armour? I think he might be.
Yeah, well, this is far from the usual state of affairs. Peppo will... I mean, he'll still aim for heads. But they have the wrong read on this. A smoke from second mid over towards that B-bomb site has pulled every single player of the Sinners over to that B-bomb site. There's not even a single body committed to this.
Who fakes on a pistol round?
There is no Glock fire. There's absolutely nothing. There was so much utility available here for PVISION. They just used that one smoke, and they've got a free site to play with.
The most unbelievable part of this is that Beltronic has another smoke. on a pistol round, we've managed to fake B, fully pull the rotations. And let's not forget, guys, they lost 2 players as well at the start. And now there's a re-smoke for Moto. This is a nightmare for the CT side. And they don't have any kits. So they kind of need to get on with this. Kisarek is going to have to wait for the contact of his teammates first, I would have thought. Kisarek ready to go through that smoke on Moto. Molly down on short. The amount of util is disgusting.
That's the round.
This T side, and I think it has sealed the deal at this point. It's just too slow. I've scarcely ever seen a pistol round where util played that big a factor.
I've scarcely seen a round where there's been a 3-on-3 with nobody but one player having armor once the dust settles. You know, PVISION bought so much utility. Yeah, they don't have the funds for that extra armor. But who needs armor when you don't even need to take bomb sites, or take fights rather, to get into a bomb site? That's absolutely a strange way to win a pistol.
Oh, it's gonna be frustrated if you're Sinners. I mean, you fall for the fake, you get back to A, and you just spend the whole retake behind util. You can't even move uncontested. Right. This one's just an eco. Most teams would force. Sinners have decided to save this round. They'll buy in the next. That could well come at the sacrifice of some utility. So even a couple kills here would make a difference. It's an extra flashbang. And, well, there's nobody coming A, but if they can get down mid, certainly is a chance to catch a straggler. They need to get on with this.
That's a totally missed smoke. Beastic was hoping to block it, but oh wait, wow, he actually wrangles the kill with the USP, and he gets a second as well. Solo B, Beastic absolutely fragging out, and now that pressure found out on that flank, but they've still not dealt with the player that was designated to the site itself.
Solo B, USP, finds 2 kills. I'm still not sure this round is on for the CT side, but they can absolutely take more rifles, and I think they will. Committing through this banana smoke, Strasarin finds another. Ziello is the hero to save the day, but that was an order of magnitude more uncomfortable than you ever would have expected.
What a monstrous hold from Beastic. I thought he was going to end up empty-handed, so busy distracted with trying to block the smoke that actually never bloomed on top of him.
I don't know what happened to the smoke. Just
it bounced outside.
Yeeted it all the way over. Was it meant to be just a regular throw and he jumped for it at some point? That was crazy.
Either way, if you thought Beastic was going to slow down after map 1, think again. He seems to just have the hottest hand that the Sinners have to offer.
You wouldn't have said that 2 weeks ago as being a likely thing. And he opens up this round. Early kill. AW is trying to default in for some banana control. He was by the half wall. He has been dispatched. Jame in the meanwhile. It's a quick hand. Peppo dispatched. So even Stevens is going to force the CTs to make a bit of a tough decision in terms of how these forces are allocated. Of course, they've just seen the bulk of players A, so you can't fault them for this. Skizerek's leaning over, thinking that A is the main threat, and this puts his teammate Solo B. It's Beastic, I believe. He's got to get the most out of this util. Smoke goes down. I think he could have done better to use the molly first. There he goes. Ziello, big kill. That is the power of playing contact heavy and playing with pace.
Yeah, it's the burden you have as well on that B site. You have to do better than... Well, you have to get 1 kill at the minimum and hopefully keep yourself alive for that retake. But without that as an option, yeah, PVISION just break B and Sinners can offer nothing else. Man, seeing Jame AWP is always a treat when he is being active. Because that was, again, one of the problems people often, following Jame would see that he just wouldn't take risks. He wouldn't go for a lot of openers, even in a meta where there were other AWPers that were certainly taking those risks. You see the rise of players like Monacy. You were still, Simple was still around. Zaiwu was taking a lot of opening risks. To have a team that rose through the ranks and battled that ideology and had that AWP as such a supportive defensive element that could then save into late rounds. I have loved the transformation of James since his time on PVISION because he does take those risks. He does go for more of these retakes along with the team. When you talk about PVISION and how good some of those retakes can be, James is often a part of that equation.
In we go. Oof, given chances here, James. Can't finish the deal. Well, with the saves, they brought a little bit in here, but that util is dwindling now for Sinners.
Yeah, they've had to use a lot of resources just to feign that control. 3 smokes off the rip, so they've only got 1 more that they can use to stall. And so that does force their hand slightly in terms of what they have to do for map control. Skizerek's still probing top B. HE trying to mask their presence, and they line up for Strasarin and Skizerak. A 2-for-1 on the exchange. James does land that trade, but that's a stamp of approval here for Sinners over at Banana.
Time could become a factor before long here. Double smoke into CT, not ideal. And now when another one coming into ruins, I think the CTs, it's a pretty easy read. This is quite well telegraphed, especially given the double smoke. Ollie goes first oranges, forces Beastic wide, and he finds 2 kills on the 5-7. We did not have this on our bingo cards. B-Stick is looking fabulous individually right now.
Yeah, he's lethal on this B-bomb site. USP, 5-7, doesn't matter. B-Stick finds doubles. And these are on and against full buys. You know, this was hardly an ideal situation for the Sinners, saving over weapons from that last round. They enable and activate it on the aggression over towards top banana, but B-Stick's the player that seals the fate of PVISION. Once again, a low buy pulling through here for the Sinners could serve to activate the CT side.
Yes, sir. Okay. Well, still plenty of money Sinners in the PVISION camp. So, losing one isn't going to put them down just yet. How do they choose to change the allocation? Okay, a fairly standard default to me here at the start. Early nades into the broom position. But nobody home. As PVISION opting to play out of banana at the start. AW's ready to go through that smoke on a flash, if desired. But I think PVISION are pretty happy here just to play a little bit slower. And now go in with their util.
Yeah, kind of a contact into banana from PVISION. They do make some steps. Kisarek trying to play around the smokes, and he will be able to dodge utility. They don't clear for him, and Kisarek able to double up. Backs offered up, and even if it was a little sloppy, able to wrangle that spray for 2 headshots. B-Stick smoked off in at CT, and while the rotate is available, Peppo could line up that flash. Smoke a little delayed, but they just don't get the util into the bomb site. They don't fight for it. They'll offer up a late boost. It's being watched for. Cielo getting both. That is devastating. If Sinners had a chance, it's seemingly gone now. Shock and Stressart are still flirting with the idea, and that smoke goes way too deep, but Belchanok clotheslines them as they come out from CT, and Cielo will respond in kind. A 4th round here for PVISION. They break past that B hold.
That was a wild smoke bounce. Anyway, yeah, I think on reflection, Peppo and B-Stick kind of felt a bit half in, half out to me. Peppo uses util, but B-Stick was never prepared really to go through the smoke. By the time they're boosting, PVISION had to sometimes clear the site. They, of course, see all the util coming in. Obviously, it's a great read from Cielo, but it was kind of teed up in that sense that he was starting to sense that something was going to happen. And that's why he's ready. So, PVISION up to 4. And on a knife edge right now, our Sinners lose this round, money's back in the doldrums. Opting for a much more passive banana stance as Peppo's been flipped onto this side of the map. There's lots of players coming, and this is the first time this AWP has been shown. No connection, and AW punishes Kisarek. He's looking at his teammate thinking, how did you let them slip out so aggressively? Repeat util coming into ruins now, and quite frankly, the CTs need to seriously consider a save soon, because this is over.
Yeah, they'd absolutely be hoping for a miracle just to break into this retake. They'll be lucky to escape cleanly with all of their weapons too. Peppo's still hovering around, but him missing that opening line out from spawn when it is a contact rush from the PVISION roster is just kind of a shame for him. He's not had that AWP in the right position most rounds. This time, you correctly note that it's the first time that AWP has started at B, but he needed to really assert himself.
I also wonder, Kisarek, of course the eyes were really on the T's. He might have been setting up nades as well, which obviously would have made it even worse. So clearly wasn't the best day for him.
Yeah, I think he had an incendiary ready.
Yeah, he's probably about to do a retake set.
Yeah,
banana.
AW just got ahead of that incendiary after the Kisarek frag, but almost certainly Kisarek would not have had his gun prepped. Well, a crying shame, but they do save those weapons over. Heavy nades over towards bottom banana. But nobody decided to venture that far out from PVISION, and that's something that they haven't been doing a ton of so far on this T side, is starting on spawns to the bottom of B. Content to play around the bottom smoke. Wait, this is the time they take the risk. AW goes through and he gets the headshot to B-Stick. And they spotted that extra member. Kisarek deploys the smoke, but he has to stand steadfast, hits around the smoke for a kill onto Nota. He's still tempting fate, spamming away, and they don't spam back. It cuts down completely. It is a 2-1 split for what remains of the Sinners' defense. They'll leave Kisarek to his own devices. He's got to lock down this B site.
That was too far ahead of his teammates. Stake from Ziello. Needed better spacing for trades. Kisarek given a chance, but overwhelming numbers will seal the deal. I think these CTs need to save. It's probably a buy. Can keep both of these guns going. Still dishing out utility, but these terrorist players to me look pretty much up to the task. We're trying to commit in full.
It's good.
Ooh, the smoke isolates a one-on-one. We're now double new box. Do the CTs expect this sort of position to have it double laden with players? Who peeks first? Do they double peek? What are the options? James shows. James smart, he'll swing first, and he does. And not even required the bait setup, so bit dicey, but you know, considering you killed all the rifles, it's kind of worth it.
It's also just, I mean, both players on this retake for the Sinners both had HEs. They decided that stack is going to go towards Dark, and had they thrown it at New Box, them being right on top of each other, could have spelled doom and gloom there for PVISION, but they opt for the wrong side of the back bomb site. And James does the rest.
As I mentioned earlier about how it feels like with these individuals on PVISION that there's a whole like breed of rounds they're able to run, and I think that was quite a good example of, you know, it's pretty basic. We're going to go in banana with lots of bodies, but they just sort of have the confidence of if we catch a decent timing and if we got a few of these riflers together playing a buddy system, wow. The speed at which they can dish out lead is ridiculous.
Yeah. It's part of the allure that actually kind of fell absent on VP once upon a time with Fame and Flit, where,
yes,
you know, leading up into that Rio Major, they actually were playing more aggressive and, you know, pack-based. But in the months that followed, something went wrong. And that confidence wasn't there. These youngsters don't have issues with confidence at all. In fact, full knife out, running towards top of banana. They may have run with too much confidence. B-Stick humbles them completely. A double on this M4 as he will solo B.
Yeah, smoke kind of epitomizes that round. Not ideal. And confidence, of course, pushed to enough of an extreme becomes hubris. Sinners on the board for a second time. It's pretty bonkers, isn't it?
Hold on.
Okay, we've overcommitted to the B side of the map. We never actually saw bomb on the site. You're right. I called it too soon. This still has legs, but it's going to require James to find a kill. He goes looking mid, and he might get caught from this long side. It's actually B-Stick. B-Stick up mid that finds the kill. What has this man eaten for breakfast? He is on a different level right now. And Ziello, this will take something unbelievable. They'll know the pits are very likely positioned.
Shock or blindside him.
Brave. And he is indeed fragged. B-Stick is a beast.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the name. Why wouldn't we put that respect to him? He has been fueling the ride to ESL Pro League for the Sinners, away from ESL Challenger League Cup 4, playing some of his best Counter-Strike. You're right to point that out. Him and Shock seem to have really punched in and are really punching hard. B6 a hard man to beat.
He won them their 2 rounds at this point. He's keeping them in this map. Kind of as simple as that at the moment. And as much as PVISION's previous round didn't work, gotta admit the call was kind of right. It was solo B. They were trying their damnedest to deal with B-Stick. They just couldn't. Molly didn't help, of course. At their feet. And we stride our way into round 9. James was looking in and amongst mid for an opener, but falls back to join his teammates. And this is an early move to load up Banana. They do like a call like this. Group in the mid round and explode. Try and find an opening. Maybe they're gambling that this is solo B. It is not. The molly's good. Oh, how does Stress Siren find 3 kills when he's forced wide from sandbags? Now it's on B-Stick to seal the round. Kissarek's already here to see the cross. And individuals on B right now are making a world of difference.
Wait, a miss from James, but he does get it back for a second attempt. He's reading the fact that there's a flank, but it's another miss from James. And so Shock won't let him get that second swing of things. A Stress-Arn triple. They throw everything but a flash past that top banana smoke. And Stress-Arn just laps them up. A Molotov may have displaced him, but so long as he can see, they're in trouble. I have to say that flick almost pretty much looked on for James, especially at that type of range.
I thought it was good. A cigar. Well, this has been a half of survival somewhat for Sinners, and we've got to give them a lot of credit. They've done a heck of a lot of work to actually force an eco round, given the way this was trending earlier. So, very light investment here, of course, for PVISION. We expect Sinners to be up to 4 for them before long. And 1 flash for PVISION. This better be the greatest flash you've ever seen.
I would say Sinners have definitely done the hard part of actually defending a bomb site that has seemed like a vulnerability so far this half. If not for these successful holds, who's to say that PVISION don't just keep on trying to plow that B-bomb site? Hell, they still could. That flash didn't do quite the job that they were hoping for. It was very much mortal. There could be some mortal wounds ahead of them. Stress-Arn lapping up these kills versus the unarmored opponents. Glocks will not do enough. Peppo put under pressure. Both players are dinked close middle, and so healthy members will hope to reinforce. And while Kisarek takes a dink himself, he will still survive. So players walking wounded, but 5 alive here for the Sinners versus the full eco.
Okay. Well, certainly now there's money in the bank. Sinners are buying perfectly fine for these final 2 of the half. No concerns there. Eyes on PVISION. See if they can get anything more out of this half. Even if it goes 6-6, it's not the end of the world, but given the way it was trending earlier, that would be a bit of a disappointment for them, I'm sure. Let's see how the forces are distributed. Again, as we're going to see a lot during the series, I think, they're very happy to play passive early, but they spot a gap. They're going to make their move. AW has not read this one right. B-Stick is well on top of things, given how much B has been under pressure. Oh, actually, B-Stick's alone. He was alone when he cleared Halfwall there. He's a crazy man.
Just got the 1 support flash from Kisarek, and he has sent it the other way. B-Stick was toying with the idea of playing inside of the top banana smoke, but...
This is stubbornness again, isn't it? Because Sinners can't believe it can still be a B round. They can't believe it. I mean, how could it be?
And B-Stick has been overperforming. So from PVISION's point of view, they might think, he doesn't keep double killing us. He doesn't keep holding this bomb site. But the util is good here from B-Stick. Incendiary keeping them at bay, a fresh smoke, and now the rotates are coming here from the Sinners, but that's because Shock is encroaching in from behind, has a free kill onto James, and as he enables that backstab, suddenly it's turnabout and face here from PVISION. They understand that that's a player hoping to keep them locked out of the A plane. Shock recognizes the importance of his life and will play from the bomb site itself. PVISION are saving.
Well, yeah, it's the only option they've got left. Cielo grabs that AWP off the ground. This is not good, and on a map where util is super important, they're not going to have much, given these guys have no money. Yeah. B-Stick is... B-Stick's playing like a 16-year-old at the moment. This is crazy. Clears the half wall, then is left alone. It's a bold brand of Counter-Strike from Sinners on B, but let's give them credit. It is... You can see, actually, yeah, Kissarek's running off long before he's cleared.
Yeah.
That is some wild confidence from Sinners.
AW ate the flash as he was walking through the smokes, and then tried to play anti for aggressive moves, only for B-Stick to just full contact play it. So, I have to say, they've been getting the better of AW over at Banana. But if they get past Banana, this B bomb site has been fairly vulnerable in rounds gone by.
I do think one similarity to Overpass is that I don't think PVISION are a risk to actually hit a site fast. They might do it early-ish in the round, but they will get the map control first. They're not going to sprint up Banana. And I think that's what Sinners are kind of guesstimating is going on. That's why they're happy to leave 1B pretty early on some of these rounds. So it's definitely a risk, but they've clearly quite well attuned to the tempo, essentially, of PVISION.
Potentially a little confusing here is that for all the rounds that B-Stick has been solo B, this time Kisarek was left responsible for it. B-Stick has drifted on over, but there's the kill from Kisarek. B-Stick's nade, or onto Kisarek, B-Stick's nade at least trades things out, and there's a rotate out from CT that actually just gives false information. Shock being very audible. They hope that it would have been B-Stick, but this site is properly reinforced now. 2-2 split. As that one player drifting inside of spawn hopes to get back into A on time. PVISION are turning the other cheek and heading towards Peppo on the AWP.
And there's not many util. Towards Library, Belchonok with an absolute ripper of a headshot. Gives them a chance. Bomb digits punched. Again, there's no util to give a helping hand to this T side, but this is the bomb site of maybe any minus B side does too, where you can make two work, you can play different crossfires, you can tuck yourself into positions, and of course pit. When there's no mollies for the CT side, this could be dangerous.
These are two riflers that you definitely want. This dynamic duo of PVISION that has fueled them in previous series gone by, but Belchonok lets them in. Cielo unable to cover his companion in that post plant, but they have to stick the bomb now, and Shock's on low health, and they'll line up for Belchonok. And so that duo does pull through. PVISION with a 7-round T side as the Sinners hope that they can get their attack going in that second half.
Sometimes you gotta pray for a victory. Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been testing so much. All these restless nights, all these different situations that I've been through. I seen pain trying to creep in through the window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a benzo. You gotta separate yourself just to elevate. I keep some drink in my cup to see through the hate. Sometimes on the road to glory, you gotta press the brakes. I got a lesson plan for all my past mistakes. I swear I'm proud of all my best and my worst days. Proud of all my feet when I touch the ground. Front of ain't it Beijing, man, ain't know the sound. I know I made mistakes, but my mama proud. Fans scream my lyrics out in the background. They ain't know me then, but I'm hot now. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. I'm faced with a lot of different choices these days. Do a rock and roll Lex account of Blueface. The whole world know my name off a mixtape. I still got the same brothers since 6th grade. G-Wagon red seats, we on Biscayne. Trips to the Florida Keys, we imported these. Thanking God for the life he afforded me. All this jewelry on my body, I could like the hood. I need a brown skinned chick just like Megan Good. Holding up every promise that I ever made. Music in the background, it's a serenade. Been rapping 10 years, boy, this ain't a phase. I paid dues, paid rent, and I stayed the same. I had teardrops running down my face.
Seven on the board for PVISION. It was a bit of a topsy-turvy half, but at the end result is still a couple round lead. They look pretty handy on pistol rounds during this series as well already. So you wouldn't bet against them there. And given that they bought, I believe, 3 nade sets on the first pistol, they've gone 5 armor this time. So different looks from PVISION.
Yeah, who needs to throw util on CT? Just gun them instead, and they're hoping to do that on a timing. They've started 4 towards top banana as the Sinners are yet to really move a muscle, starting to clear things out towards middle. It's only Belchanok that is left responsible on A. Well, there will be some util sent over by the Sinners.
Oh my lord.
B attack is hoping to take contact. Kisarek. Oh, he can't cover his teammate, and so Nota gets both. That's the bomb dropped inside of Banana as this arch wrap into spawn is hoping to crunch the B bomb site. James in the right place to address it. But B-Stick's gotten much further into the site, but they all turn about and face. PVISION in the right spot yet again. Another pistol on the collection. PVISION flawless in pistol rounds so far.
I never stood a chance. Not an iota of an opportunity. That is brutal from PVISION. And yeah, I mean, of course we'll see it being a best of 5. We've got plenty of data, but Sinners can't afford to keep losing pistol rounds.
Yeah.
They are making their lives so difficult against a team that's obviously quite proficient on gun rounds themselves. This is not a lot of fun for them.
Yeah, and it is eerily similar to Overpass. How much the B-bomb sites hit. How Sinners have used low buys as a lifeline. But James is in the right spot to farm up these kills versus the Glocks, and him combined with Belchanok will get all 5. It's 4 for James. It is fitting that Inferno seems to be the map that we recognize that this is a connoisseur's choice of Counter-Strike. Both teams playing a particular style. And it's, of course, the top side that's loaded by vintage players in B-Stick and James.
Of course, we talk a lot about the young guns, but it is reasonably well borne out that outside of the absolute phenoms, donks of the world, when we get into the big games, experience matters. And it's proven itself at the moment. It's 2A for this CT side, and James has got to hold fast. He's on Moto, he's calling his teammates back. Molly is very handy. So, forces have been redistributed.
God,
This is already looking
this?
like a different T side to the one I just watched.
How odd is this? Brackets control at the starting mark, but look at the re-aggression from PVISION. It's right on cue just as the brunt of that T-side pulled away from Brackets.
This is more like it. This is what I want to see when they go for their leans. There's a bit of a gap now towards this long side as they double commit site, and this is going to be a B split, I believe. They're rooting round in this direction instead. Oh dear. I'm a little bit perplexed, to be honest, given that they killed a rotator and they had a player advancing up Banana and Kisarek. I almost question if it was a communication error. Smoke goes down in front of the bomb. Ooh, there's a bit of a gap on the left.
Yeah,
not sure
gonna have to fight for this.
Recovered whatsoever. There's a player in the smoke in yellow. Goes for it.
What?
Aim for one. Peppo's on 14 HP. And I don't think... did he not have time to straight up plant? I'm not sure he did. Gonna go back towards A. This is over. There isn't time. Beltronic's tucks. He understands the game we're playing right now. There we go.
How has that happened again? Even if Sinners felt like they'd found a gap, they pressure the long side, they get re-cleared to Brackets, and they run away. They leave that gap open only for there still to be 3 players inside of the site proper. They absolutely could have gone towards that B site.
I need to watch some rounds. I need to know who the B players are for PVISION, because that looked quite obvious to me to end B. The only thing that it could be is that maybe they killed an A player there and were like, oh, they were B stacking, we got a gap. And clearly, given the CT's tendency to take some risks in this series, it wouldn't be impossible. Bit of damage here. Note is already low. AW's taken way down. Do they feel like committing through this smoke? James is the first man on the rotation. And they are going to go. Flash is in first. AW just the one. Nota taken out as well. James tasked with doing some damage. And the bomb is still yet to cross. Molly front sight. And B-Stick trying to make more moves. Doesn't find anything else. This bomb is now a bit of a nightmare to plant.
James in their heads. I mean, the read on B-Stick walking through the smoke, the nade that lands on top of Peppo.
He's going A. I think. I'm not sure what's going on.
He's definitely considering it. He's hoping they fight for information, but Beltronic's hidden away nicely in spawn just as they were coming out from coffins. So minimal risk. That's PVISION's game plan. And they've still yet to seed around here on this CT side. Sinners, second chance at it. Another gun round. But they need these to start hitting now. Otherwise, we're going to be moving into map 3.
It's insane how much this feels like Overpass. It's a similar kind of trajectory. Get on the second half, CT side, and suddenly, especially with Jame on that AWP being so mobile, it's causing so many problems. So many issues. Freebie start here for PVISION. It's not going to be early aggression. It's going to be sit back, wait and see. Brackets take to come out now from Sinners. And that might be enough, I think, to incentivize a banana clear from PVISION.
This wasn't the right time to strike. Jay missing his shot as well on that AWP, and while Stressarn's low, that nade does not track him down. PVISION are pulling away from the B bomb site, but after that little bout of aggression, the fact that there's no follow-up,
I can't believe
no
it this much
follow-through,
confidence that it's not
the read from PVISION is right on point. They have loaded this B-bomb site, and they're falling again into a trap. They're going to bridge right past that smoke. Nota breaking blood first, and AW's Incendiary will finish off the job on another. They simply cannot get past this utility, and as Stressarn starts to slide on through into pool, Cielo just activating from that boost, and no one can get absolutely anything on this B-bomb site. The hold is immaculate. PVISION are in Sinners' heads.
It's got to be said, when they get the calls right, PVISION, it looks unreal. That is a sensational call from the CT side. I can't emphasize enough how insane it is that they read that fast that it's not an A finish. That is crazy. That is probably Jame and years of experience that goes into a call like that. And Sinners, at what point is it like, what do we need to do to get an open bomb site? This is getting crazy.
Yeah, whatever their intuition is telling them, they may have to divert from that. Nade stack is on point to Kisarek at Banana. The Sinners cannot catch a break here in map 2. And Peppo, trapped, had a pretty terrifying game. Finally gets a 4th frag to his name. And they have found a gap over towards long. That's Stressarn cracking into what is a relatively open bomb site. Belchanok playing from the apartments, hoping for a chance at a retake. A chance to blindside them. Oh, Jake's his timing. And Shock will clear him out. So man advantage. Sinners can get into an afterplant. And even if the tag comes through from that Shock orb, Cielo taken to low HP. And this should just be a save call here from ParaVision, just too far detached from the site.
Yeah. They could play for kind of exit kills. Definitely potential to force some Galils and maybe get rid of this orb if they want to, but nope. Gonna sit back. By no means a bad round from ParaVision. They just had more players B. Jame. When Jame goes down on A, it just leaves a humongous gap, and they were scrambling. Beltron couldn't have done anything else. He puts himself into apartments. It was the only safe position. He looks for a duel, but clearly Shock, who found the frag, was well aware in that chess game of a likely spot. Still 6 more required. It's a long road.
Yeah, it's at least some promising signs. The aggression up to short to get an opening pick in 1 round. This time finding the gap to long. If ParaVision are going to start 3B with the heavy util, then this A bomb site, which often has 3 players in late rounds, is a vulnerability if you can strike them while the iron is hot.
Okay, another 2A start. This CT side. I don't recall the last time I saw a series where teams refused to play the standard allocation of players per site at the start of these rounds. Pretty ridiculous. And then yet again, we're playing the same mind game. Sinners, I think they've got a read. It's a fast A move and now work to do. Jame is dispatched. Shock finds
Perfect.
2 massive headshots and we're already saving. That is, as you mentioned, picture perfect.
Yeah, and not only to blindside the player in the site, but also just recognize immediately how he thought his teammate should have been covering him. It's the same setup that Belchanok and Jame have used in prior rounds. Shock with an immaculate read. And Sinner's starting to get a sense of where they can exploit this ParaVision defense. But it might have come a little too late. Like you said, they need to be flawless, and even if you recognize a gap, I expect ParaVision to try and plug that at some point. Even if we've seen both teams not want to deviate from their standards.
I don't think they will. I bet ParaVision go 3B again. I basically guarantee it.
In this round, I'm with you, but the next gun round, that's where I will have my doubts.
There's not going to be another one. This is GG, I feel it. Here we go. Pause in for ParaVision.
See, this is the mind
I don't think
game.
they should panic. I mean, these last couple rounds, it happens. The style they play on their CT side, you've got to be prepared to lose rounds like this. You've got to be prepared to get it wrong.
No, this is just a mind game. They're calling the tack to make Sinners think they're going to change something.
That would be the ultimate.
Hey, if there's anybody in the scene that wants to min-max their advantages and play an unusual style, that's Jame all over.
I wonder if they accidentally brought up the notes here for Overpass again. Like, oh, hit B every round. They get to the end of the map, like, hang on, guys. Hang on a minute.
Flip through.
What's going on?
I've mislabeled my chapters.
And they have gone free B. Can you believe it?
But they don't hold it. They were definitely holding it for much longer in rounds gone by. This time Cielo goes to reinforce, and Sinners, understandably, they found picks on this A-bomb site. Throwing a bracket smoke and some util, so they're making their presence known, but they're hoping to accelerate.
Shock again is just deadly. But the kills back into a very good Belchonok. 2 for him from the balcony. And this could be all she wrote. There is a long move. That's B-Stick on the bit of the wrap here. Ziela needs to be very careful. He is exposed. But Nota does the job. Just Peppo. He has the bomb, but not a great deal else. You can see Nota's sprinting off to make sure a free bomb plant on B is not a possibility. Well, the small change up to start free B, but actually fall back seems to have caught Sinners in the lurch. Sinners clearly, with an early A move like that, were gambling. They were gambling. And James seems to come out on top. This will take something heroic.
Wow, Nota is in full risk aversion mode. Playing very deep inside of Church, not offering up a chance for Peppo to pull off this clutch. He'll have to hold steadfast a 1-on-4 where that bomb is likely to be planted, but he will have few places to hide. They've got so much utility available on the CT side as well. He needs to be active. He needs this pick. And it's Nota that still plays from construction, just jiggling for an aggressive face. And so now they get information, and that noose tightens. AW will finally be the one to suffocate and strangle Sinners on what they had hoped to be a comeback attempt on their map pick. Instead, ParaVision start 2 maps to the good in this best of 5. And so they will have ample opportunity to close completely.
And of course, off the back of another pretty sensational CT side. Couple rounds in the middle do fall away, but that was more in terms of the macro, the rotations not being in the right place. Either way, 13-7, ParaVision snatched their opponent's pick, attuned to their brand of Counter-Strike. A little bit of a wait here as we presumably trying to get all the players on the server. Of course, we want to see the Counter-Strike and stop messing around.
And the thing is, there's so much Counter-Strike to watch. I mean, we kicked off.
Oh my god, it's gone double overtime.
Into the third map of the Asia Finals, which has gone 13-11 overtime, 13-11, 13-11, and then now another overtime. They're into second OT over on the Asia stream, whereas here on Europe, it has been 2 maps for ParaVision. Things are a little topsy-turvy. You know, both those teams in Asia are, of course, in stage 1 of the major as well. ParaVision will hope that they can best them and hopefully not run quite as many close games, but they need to get past the Sinners first.
Mm-hmm. All right, get your pistol round scorecard out. Right now it is 4 strikes for ParaVision. Can they make it the 5 out of 5? Here we go. Site being taken. Strassarin in sandwich. Izzy cleared. Peppo with the opener. Shock with another. This could be the time to finally get on the board. Shock is trapped behind triple. There's still a player in sandwich, unbelievably, in and amongst all of this. That smoke now has faded. Is anybody remotely considering possibly missed shots? Just the one, but B-Stick is there to clean up. And, you know the saying, 5th time lucky.
Yeah. And Stresson will definitely be lucky that he got away with that as well. So many missed shots. I thought this was going to be a collapse with Shock dying. And if Stresson was a free kill, things could have gotten ugly. But when in doubt, there's always B-Stick. He got another 2 kills in this pistol. And so that dreaded curse of losing every pistol round on these maps will not strike on Mirage. It's a map more akin to what the Sinners themselves like picking first in best of 3s. So I was talking about that philosophy going into best of 5s, trying to deal with maybe your weaker maps early. This Mirage could do a lot to bring some confidence back.
They do like a hero AK. PVISION. They favoured that over a full force buy here. We don't mind it, but of course we like to see a bit of damage at least, especially if they get a bomb plant. That would be pretty handy. For now, fairly default spread from the CT side. Beastic just jump spotting. Strasaren, he's off catwalk for now, but assuming he gets a little bit of warning, he'll be back in time. There's some util on Ziello, so potential here to gain some space, but of course, Beastic has proved himself a difficult man to get past at the best of times recently.
Yeah, regardless of which map we go on, PVISION love the B-bomb site.
So they've sent Nota back mid. He's going to smoke connector. I guess they're trying to hold the short player off, but Strasaren seems to be well aware of what's going on. He's in the right place at the right time. That's a good kill from Belchonok. Still need to deal with Strasaren. And he gets a little bit overwhelmed. Kill for Nota. There's nobody near enough to actually deny a plant. And maybe we should really pay attention now to this round. Can they find rifles? Yellow gets an M4, tosses it to his teammate. And how do they do this? HP is pretty low, but Belchonok with a ripper of a headshot. Maybe this is on. Nota with another. Still very low HP. But if they play together, they can isolate Kisarek alone. Ziello on the Deagle just swings, and that is... to lose 4 pistols, win the 5th, and then get instantly reset by a hero AK round. That is soul-destroying.
Such a gut punch. And the thing that kicked it off was the incendiary getting dispersed by the smoke. There were some absolute ripper shots hit by PVISION. Not only the kills that Belchonok finds, but even that flick back for Cielo. He was not fully prepared for the fight. And all that Deagle gets the job done. That Nota double and the kills from Belchonok cracking that B-bomb site. And so now it will be pistols here for the Sinners to try and rectify what is a mistake made. Beastic isolated on B, gets the smoke down, but he's getting swarmed from all sides, and so this time he cannot get off to his usual shenanigans. B-side taken. This is a save call here for the Sinners, who will hope that they get a better run of things in the following round.
It just hurts. It just hurts for Sinners. When the frustrations start to be a factor in this series.
Oh, from the riflers that are not putting up the numbers to Beastic looking down the line and thinking, where have all my stars gone off to?
You're right. I mean, Beastic's had good moments, obviously, so far during this, but that's not how this team should be. Beastic's not even in positions, necessarily, to enable him as much as others. Yeah, we need Kisarek and Strasaren, don't we? They're meant to be the stars here. As good as Beastic and Shock have been over the last week or so, this team theoretically functions best with Kisarek and Strasaren leading the way.
Yeah. And, you know, going into the cup that the Sinners won to get into this position in the first place, you know, get great maps from Peppo as well. You know, it was only when they started to get overtaken by Kisarek and Shock. How we had great maps from Strasaren as well, but those have been fleeting and just totally absent, actually, in this final.
They've had rounds here or there. It's just not the consistency that some of these PVISION players, especially James, have been producing. Mid claimed. Of course, there are some upgraded pistols saved through from the previous, but PVISION will be well aware, so they're going to go for their B split. There's a bit of resistance here. There's a player up on the balcony. That's Strasaren. Finds the one. Could find a second as he dances around behind this pillar, and suddenly, just a little bit scary. Look at the HP bars on these players. But now that the flank's getting engaged, I'm not too concerned. Bomber's actually running A, so there are a lot of insurance policies there in the end for PVISION.
That's a lot of damage. It's certainly close because, like you note, the health was low enough that a Peppo clutch wouldn't have been totally out of question. That position is where they lose out. So, yeah, PVISION don't take a pistol, but they get 3 straight. And so now the full investment from the Sinners hopes to set this ship right.
Of course, getting reset means no AWP. Util is good, but it's still a little bit sparing. 1 kill on the server. The CT side, and what is the setup? It's Kisarek wide on short at the moment.
Yeah, kind of in no man's land.
Oh, he's on top of the beam. Yeah, James is a little bit too late to trade. That is ballsy to sit there for that long.
Didn't have a con player even covering for underpass either, so he was left to his own devices. Boost up for Kisarek as well. He's taking all the elevation, but James gets a kill top con. So this is a clawback. Oh, they're just postured for a B hit.
We've gone back to the overpass notes. It's another spree of B rounds, and B stick this time doesn't get a great deal done. James with a killer frag. Wow, that round, despite actually having quite a few numbers in the right area, melts away, does the CT side.
I don't even know what you do. I mean, Kisarek took a big risk. They get ample control. They're still retaining presence onto middle.
I don't know what happened to Peppo. Just lost a straight up fight, by the looks of it, down connector or something.
I think he got spammed. He
that would explain it.
From the stair side of connector, and James spammed him to completion. And then that clear onto Kisarek was just the nail in the coffin, really.
As nice as the kill from Kisarek was, it just feels like he was making a solo move and there wasn't an overarching philosophy to fight for the control. See how that develops, but it wouldn't surprise me if individuals like Kisarek and Strassarin start feeling a lot of pressure on themselves to make moves. I believe they're also the connector and the short players here, so they have the most opportunity of the riflers to do that. Reaching that point in the series where gotta try something.
And it could have been an activating moment for Kisarek at the very least. Looks pretty much tailored to be. James and his crew of youngsters will have plans of their own. 4 straight here for PVISION on their T side. Good block on the smoke here from Shock. Actually has the opportunity to blow holes straight through it. And tags down range. Does land the dink onto Nota. It's the one real weapon they bring forward to this round. Okay.
I don't understand.
Juggling of resources here.
What's going
on
here? Does it really matter that much? As what? It's just B stick. Done this a lot on these T sides. PVISION, they just go back to the tried and the true. The B split is the defining anti-eco round on this map, and that is their decision. Sinners fought. Well, they ran this last time. They won't again. Well, the series I've seen, that is not a philosophy you can retain anymore. Trying to rotate in, but don't really have the guns for it, do we? Should be plenty of bodies alive here at the end of the day for PVISION.
I just can't believe the game plan from PVISION has simply been to attack the B bomb site, irregardless of which map it is,
or the scenario or anything.
Yeah, it's staggering. Can you imagine being an A player on all these maps? I don't think there's necessarily a through line here for the players of the Sinners. But you just think, when's the action going to come to me? And it just doesn't.
Bizarre day. I do think it won't continue on this map. I do think this is just the anti-ecos plus the first couple gun rounds.
I'd love for James to prove you wrong.
I would as well. I think Mirage, surely of all the maps, you can't play Mirage without at least some mid-control. Even if you're on NB quite a lot. Got to lean that direction, surely. What have we got here? 2 top mid, 1 underpass. It is a B-heavy default. Hardly committed right now.
Yeah, this is a far more standard CT approach to this aggressive line on mid-control as well. This time, presence on short, connector as well to hold underpass. And while Kisarek doesn't quite come away with the kill, Peppo is there to retain the line top middle. So Nota crawling into his angle. That ult finally getting a taste of blood. But Beastic under some pressure. Cielo is really whittling him down.
Good understanding. Then they know that if mid's being tested so thoroughly, then can only be 1B. They apply all that pressure. James can get a kill here. There might be a window. It is going to be a B round.
But they're pulling players away. Peppo's now last man standing here on B.
It's the
got a
tempo
tight
of
line
this
to hold on
T-side.
to
It's
it.
like we pressure, then we go back. We pressure, and then we go to bizarre timings. Another kill from AW. Backside on this AWP. We're not getting anything done in terms of Peppo. And Sinners, they can't for the life of them read this T-side. I think they need to just play with conviction and just commit to their stacks because they are getting caught in transition right now. And I think they should save here. This is too difficult of a retake. These guns are too valuable. This round, it's going to take mistakes, I think, from this T-side to have an opportunity. James is already in underpass. But yeah, they're out.
Yeah, waiting for mistakes that simply doesn't seem to happen here for PVISION. None of them really gave too many chances away to the Sinners. And while there won't be a concerted effort to hunt either here from PVISION, they're very much familiar and calm in this situation. They just keep on winning rounds. Every call they make seems to find the weaker side.
I think what playing PVISION does do is you have in your head a flow chart of how rounds go, especially on a map like this, where the T side defaults, they take mid control. When the T side puts another set of smokes in mid, so for probably top connector and window, that's when you, as the CT side, take space. You push a site, push palace, you push a ramp, you push apartments if you haven't seen anything B. But that just never happens. There's an initial default and then silence. There's silence until the site hit, and I think Sinners are really struggling to get on board of that and how to react.
This could be a duel here.
Can't be
Peppo
another
on the
B
AWP.
round.
It looks like it is postured for another B round, and Peppo has to do a lot here. There will be no flash to sail over, just a small jiggle. Stresson has activated in from the underpass. This was the contingency plan here from the Sinners. They started in this setup. Molotov down. Stresson keeps fighting forward, but do they understand that Kisarek is also there? Belchadok's back offered up, but Jame was unexposed. And as Kisarek draws his attention over, it's a miss from Jame. Both players 5 and 4 health that remain here from PVISION. Jame has nowhere to go. He's totally locked into the apartments. And this is finally looking like a round that the Sinners can pull together.
Has the ring of kind of finally calling the bluff, doesn't it? Finally saying, okay, if you're going to go B every round, we're going to start players on B and have a double underpass push.
Oh,
Ota finds one. This shouldn't be possible. It shouldn't be possible. The CTs know where the Ts are coming from.
yeah, there's no time now.
Yeah. So, it's not going to be the round for PVISION.
Definitely makes you nervous, though, when even in the 3-on-2, There are ripper shots coming out from some of these remaining ParaVision members. Well, so far, outside of the pistol round, not too dissimilar to Inferno, every round has finished B.
I've never seen anything like it. I've watched enough CS to see individual maps play out like this, but
yeah,
3 to go back to back.
3 in the series, I know.
Absolutely absurd. And finally, look at this. An A default. Can you believe it? We're sending players elsewhere. Even the bomb is heading this way. This is Christmas come early.
Revolutionary. I'm not sure that ParaVision are going to be too familiar with this bomb site, given that they've not been here outside of that pistol where they got devastated.
Yeah, what shocks the A anchor is like, I've literally, all I've done all game is run into B when the round's already over. Pretty much. Look at the way they just cut noise. It's so Virtus Pro. It's so Virtus Pro. And this time, Sinners finally starting to read the book. They're understanding that given the previous round, given the lack of any sight on B, given that Peppo is playing a wide angle on that AWP, they can afford to commit bodies this way. There's no util in and around Sandwich just yet. When does Stressarin come into play? When does he activate? It's very much like the pistol round, isn't it? Does anybody feel like a clear? Jane,
looked at it.
Half a clear. Can you believe it? That late in the take to even consider the possibility of Sandwich. Here comes a nade, surely on the top of Jame, and the nade does the job on both. That is beautiful.
It is identical. Stressarin, the same player inside of Sandwich, but ParaVision are using an old meta smoke. This is something that teams discovered very early on into Mirage and CS2, is that the old lineup for stairs would bleed over into Sandwich like that, and so you wouldn't be able to Molotov it, you wouldn't be able to clear it properly. If you spam it, that's probably your best chance to clear it, but if a player starts there or drops out from stairs before you get out ramp, it can effectively go undetected. That's something in the nade set that ParaVision may need to update, because again, these are the types of things that can go punished. Sinners may get a bit of stride now. 2 rounds back to back. Shock, a good kill to Nota inside of middle. And they know about Jame as well on the control. Kissarak dodging all the spam, and he will collect a second in mid. Now, Peppo is also struck with this AWP, but they have lost a foothold on the A bomb site itself. 2 on 4 while that bomb gets punched in. There's still a lot of hesitation here from the Sinners side, waiting for these smokes.
They're going to fight. There's just so many bodies here. It's just hard to believe this is going to work. Oh my lord.
What?
Can you believe it? 2 fast kills from AW, and now Belchonok has half a chance.
And they've no idea.
Yeah, they don't. Oh, that's a bad smoke as well. They probably want to put that on the bomb. Belchonok given room to maneuver. Sticking your default. You go for his place. Being held. B-stick. Oh! Does not get it through. 2v4 win. Of course, haphazard from Sinners, but give AW credit. Those first 2 kills were savage.
Yeah, played the smoke on the fade, got those 2 kills, and then they just don't know where Belchonok is. It's planted for spawn, and it is milliseconds away from a defuse there for B-stick.
This is just a heart-wrenching series if you're a Sinners fan. It is just painful, and especially, of course, given that we can see the X-ray, we know what this T-side is calling. We know how many similar rounds are being presented. We're back to the old faithful, back to B. B-stick didn't have the weaponry. There is an underpush, but I don't think this time it's going to be of huge effect.
You can see the underpush as well as going back to trying to address a player that he thought would relay and rendezvous over at B. Instead, Shello has gone off on the hunt to try and catch players on the save. Stressarin goes back to address that. And so there is no threat to the round. What little that is brought forward here from the Sinners will be retained. and an upgrade for Stress Arm, but yeah, the Sinners are limping so far in this half. 8th round for PVISION. And sure, they may have a couple sprinklings of an A play, but they love B-bomb sites.
The A play is just to allow them to go B again. That's the only purpose of the A. The A is there to open up B. That is that is the maths in the heads of PVISION right now. And can you fault them? This map, this is by far their best T side that they've produced so far in this series. And I do think the problem with Overpass is that you can't brute force it through Monster. It's just too much of a kind of a suicidal move. Here on B, you want to take it early, you can. I think that's been the difference, is that when they want to force out a hit, they can. And what have we got here? They won't be
ready for this.
There's just so many
the boost.
There's just so many T's around. But it's also... I mean, think about this from Sinner's perspective. How many rounds has there been like one player defaulting mid and 4 B? Why wouldn't you try and push it?
It's just crazy because it looked like they got timing where players had nades pulled behind the boost. And then by the time they start spamming and taking fights, all those guns are now raised to attention. So it actually could have been a great start for the Sinners. It's at least a new idea. But wait, because they've lost mid control, now they hit A. And look how spread Sinners are.
And Peppo's thinking it's going to be B. They've got a player. They've got a player in apartments aggressive on B, and they're still nervous. They're still out of position. Sorry, mega wide. This is not a good spot when players coming out of Palace, and that is the power of conditioning. That is the power of playing an entire half where B bomb site was the only option. Not anymore. James, it's all coming together. The mastermind move. And B-Stick, as good as he's been, this is cooked. It's going to be 9 for PVISION.
Best case scenario for him is that AW swings from the site. James misses and dies, but step made, and that is a simple shot for James. A 9-3 half, the most convincing so far from PVISION as they hope to close this series 3-0. Let's see if Sinners have some fight in them in the last half, potentially in this series.
The road to the top is a riddle. What will be my destiny? Money and fame are awaiting, but not enough is raining on me. Maybe I should give it all up. How much more can I take? Out here singing to the heavens. When I gonna get my break? I can run this town. Oh. I could run this town.
Major beckons for PVISION. They're taking a long haul break. 4 to 5 weeks of solid practice, solid boot camping. They come back. They play their first Counter-Strike in well over a month. Dispatch of Simple and Electronic, like they're amateurs, to be honest, in that series. Now they're playing Sinners in this grand final, and it's not lived up to the billing. They're 2-0 up, 9-3 up, now on the CT side, and chances to get this done. They've only lost 1 pistol round in this series, and Ziello tries to keep that stat very favorable. What have we got? Both Terrace players in and around the site. Looking for fights. Players behind bench. Belchonok still in market. He's get out and help his teammates in the near future. Peppo is trying to cover ground, but can he get up close and personal? Get a good engagement. Bomb is looping back up short. Peppo goes the same way, but that's going to leave Stressarin alone. Perhaps he can plant, but he needs to do something very special to win this round.
Well, he throws a decoy and gives them a little bit of an inkling that it is going to be a finish on A. And so while that plant goes down, a 1-on-3 of Stressarn is demanded. 9-3 is already too much to bargain for. Coming in on this comeback, Stressarn gets a couple of chances, but it's just jiggles and jumps, and nobody's giving him a clean gunfight. So Belchanok runs him down. It really did feel as though Cielo was fighting the entire world on short. How he managed to get 2 kills is beyond me, but it completely stopped any punch that Sinners hoped to offer that B bomb site.
It's gone from bad to worst. Bad to worse. Okay. Well, what were their options? Save and hand over an 11th? I don't think so. This will be... I think Sinners will be forcing all the way into the ground, unless they can win one of those 4 spies. Here we go. Galils are out. Somewhat decent util for this T side. Free smoke's already dispersed into mid. Maybe an A split is what they want to do. Jane with a bit of a spam, and you can see that PVISION have opted to not have an A anchor as it was, play both from stairs. So, if they do get crunched, I think they'll have to fight into connector. James finds one in the meanwhile. That was a window boost. And it already feels like this T-side round has lost a bit of its sting. Re-smoke on connector. Ramp's trying to make its move, but without mid being a heavy threat, don't think they're going to find any easy chances.
Until his teammates get out into the site, it's hard for P-Stick really to activate as well from connector. Shock is sliding out, but these smokes are not going to last forever. That bomb is still tucked away at ramp. So Shock has to make something work, and he moves through the smoke at the perfect time. It's a gap. 2 kills from stairs, and while James gets a handle back on the situation, they still don't know about Cielo in it ticket. This plant will be quite wide, and it's wide enough that Cielo gets the back of Peppo. They cannot get this bomb planted in a safe manner. Again, they have no resources. They have nothing to cover the plant. And while Kisarek punches in those digits, it's a man advantage here for PVISION. P-Stick needs this kill inside of jungle, but James is fully tucked, hidden away. Cielo activates from spawn, and so now James serving to blindside B-Stick, misses out on his opportunity, but this plant is not in a defensible position for B-Stick, has to go wide, and AW puts it to rest. An 11th round here for PVISION. Sure, Sinners get the site, but they need rounds.
Just one of them looking Palace there for a moment. What's going on with that? I'm not sure. Either way, how fitting that it's James that wins the round. He salvages that one for his team. I really thought the push through here from Shock was going to be enough, but James proves too difficult. Zello's early rotation unsighted. And indeed, they just have to keep buying. They're in this purgatory now. There's just no choice. You can't save and give over 9 championship points.
Yeah. They've been in that position before, and it served to be too much. Too hot to handle. This PVISION side have done nothing but hit B bomb sites and stay true to their convictions. The Sinners have had theirs rattled.
Nothing's
Was it
working.
even breaking blood? Yeah, catching the Palace Lurk.
Nothing's working. Kissarek's on 4 kills.
Hey, the B-bomb site worked for ParaVision. Why can't it work for the Sinners?
Okay. Well, on paper it is the lesser defended site, but still they're going to need a snappy opener, I'd have thought. The rotation's a bit of a way out, but AW start to line in players up. Ziello, a little bit out in the open, but here on bench, oh, the second kill is savage. Every player seemingly gets more than you'd bargain for at the moment. It is 12. It is 9 championship points. It is destiny at this rate that ParaVision will be in Pro League.
There have just been too many star moments. Some honestly great containment of ego. This ParaVision squad play with such a temperament that we haven't really seen from many of the other teams that were in this final throughout the ESL Challenger League Cups. There's a refinement to their game, and even if it is a little on the passive side, that's that James Dastan DNA. Pacey, here from the Sinners, they have to get something going. And while they do crack into what is a vacant bomb site, doing so without taking casualties as well could prove a difficulty, taking a lot of damage. Also, they will be able to fight for this after plant, but there's so many resources here for ParaVision.
This is must win. This is must win as far as the CT engagements go. They have to have some space for this after plant. And here we go. CT's coming in. It's haphazard. It's awkward. And thankfully, from the Sinners' perspective, something goes their way as Shock nails in 3 frags. Money's not good for ParaVision, so I'm not sure really what their buy is going to look like in the following.
I almost feel bad for talking about their resources because ParaVision saw that fight happening towards spawn, and because they have so many grenades, they opt to pull them out just as the Sinners commit to a deep swing to CT. So, I mean, great job from Sinners capitalizing on a timing. Shock and Stressarn putting pen to paper, at least for the Sinners.
CT should full eco. I always call teams out for this, and they never do it. And actually, they've realised they might even double eco here. I know it doesn't look like it. You sing 4 spies, but when you're on 12 rounds, especially when it's championship point, the only thing that matters for them is maximising gun rounds. But still, the Sinners need to get through this one. Shock opens up first. Belchonok dealt with. He had the rifle, so that is the main fear dispensed. It's looking nervy, to put it mildly.
Wait, this is still doable. There's an AK inside of connector. No, Kisarek goes through just to guard that weapon. Things could have gone weird. Nota got a kill from under balcony, and the Sinners didn't know. Nota even went up the balcony to pick up the 5-7 that was dropped by Cielo top balk to then take more fights. And yeah, things could have gone real hectic.
Okay, so there is a pause. Quick discussion. I like this. I mean, how many teams have we seen in the last week or so that just lose from big advantages because they don't slow the game down? ParaVision understand what's going on right now. This is the moment to be maximum attention, not the opposite. It's not the time to be complacent or, play with the momentum. This is the time to knuckle down, be 110% on the same page, and kill Sinners before they even get in this map.
Especially when you've got so many pieces that haven't had the same wealth of experience that Jaime and Dastan have had together. They've gone through many young guns that have maybe shown some of that impatience, the willingness to win, almost to a fault. But yeah, for all the regimentation, Jaime will be the one that serves to find the first. A peek down ramp with that AWP. He mustered the troops together, but he makes their jobs easier. Man advantage.
It's not been Kisarek's day. He hasn't been a factor in this grand final. He's already dispatched. The writing is looking on the wall for Sinners and their hopes of an easier progression to Pro League. Of course, VRS could still play a factor, but it's not an easy task given their ranking at the moment. PVISION settle into their mid-round. Look at AW. He's aggressive in apartments. He's telling his teammates B is not a likely port of call soon. A little bit awkward as we're playing in and around jungle. But we've got the bodies in the right area. And look at AW go.
He's cleared everything.
He has, and he's telling his teammates, this is 100% an A finish now. Do not move. Ziello starts clearing off catwalk, but the real point of contention is A. Space taken by Sinners. They're making their move. It's a good kill from Strasarin with the molly. Peppo chimes in as well, but now the flank gets engaged. AW trying to end this series. 2 fast kills. There's a player behind him. That is shock. And at least he keeps this under contention. That bomb, though, is not planted. 10 seconds to go, and they need to get on with this. Yellow can end this series.
Oh my.
And Sinners are holding on for dear life.
As if that's the play that B-Stick opts for. They just killed Jamin Spawn. There is 8 seconds left. B-Stick bomb on back, swinging for jungle.
Unreal.
That was PVISION's round to lose. AW did so much to clear B, get the flank to deny the bomb. Even if he gets flanked out. It felt like Jame actually kind of fell asleep at the wheel there. Saw the gun getting cocked back. Quick switch to in at ramp and just doesn't hit the shot. And here's Nota on the D.
Not like this. Not like this.
AW's in a spot of bother. Yeah, that's the A bomb site seeded. James just getting himself into a position at ladder. But with no one on the bomb site itself, this shouldn't cause problems. Nota's gotten another with the AK. That's a weapon to be recovered for the CTs.
I don't think PVISION will save these guns either. They're going to...
This is...
and
Nota got another.
In. This is... I'm terrified for Sinners. It's still no armor for these CTs, but a slim advantage. Peppo cannot afford to miss. He does connect, but Nota finds 4. The ace, potentially, to send PVISION to Pro League. Strasarin, the only player that can save the day now. Jame, left alone. Can Jame get this done? No, he cannot. It requires a quad kill from Strasarin to stay in the game against a near full eco.
And prior to that duel with Strasarin, Nota didn't take a lick of damage. Every kill clean.
God. Their luck is going to run out, man. This can't keep going.
Yeah, they are dancing with death.
This is unreal. It just feels like they're going to overstep in an early round. They're going to give up an opening kill. Jame is going to be in the right place at the right time. It's just too much to ask to recover this game, surely, for the T's. This could be a fairly early B split. We're shaping up for it.
Things would get awkward. They're looking for a B split, but they missed the window smoke. So there will be extra hesitation from the cat side.
These B players are pretty committed, and can they easily pull out? I guess with that smoke now, they could. Kissarek's going to make a play, and not being his best showing, has it? He's trying to make moves. He's trying to be a hero, and he's just given
missed the smoke
an advantage.
They also missed a smoke outside of B. I mean, that is their own smoke that they walk through.
They missed 2 smokes because they missed window earlier.
Yeah.
Oh my lord, there's a free B stack as well. There's a ramp push from Belchonok. This feels like the one.
Wait.
AW, just commit to your site, brother. Stop moving around. Guns out. No risks taken now if you're the CT side. Get this done. Util makes it very awkward for AW, but now Ziello comes into play. First collected. Second found. Can he make it a third? Yes, he can. PVISION will go to Pro League. 10 series in a row. 14 maps in a row. Fear this team going into the major.
Yeah, a beautiful collection of maps from PVISION. They may not play the sexiest, most explosive, fanciest Counter-Strike, but what they do play, they play to a T. They barely give sinners many opportunities.
Dusted 4 cups, and of course our mini playoffs here at the end. And PVISION have reigned victorious. Other regions still to go today. South America to follow, and NA a little bit later. If you want to watch even more Counter-Strike, and good on you if you've been watching since
More
Asia
best
at the
of
start
fives,
the day. Good on you. Anyway, that wraps it up from us. Stick around for the other regions. We'll be back next season for more Challenger League action here in Europe. We'll see you then.